Hey guys, so welcome to part 2 of my anniversary community response for part 1, and I don't believe part 1 of the anniversary specifically, if that was a little confusing. I don't think I'll be doing these for every part of the anniversary, just for the record, but I wanted to do that for part 1 specifically of the anniversary because it's gotten a lot of negative responses and a lot of flack. But I think there's a bit of a disconnect with the way that we view what's happening here with the way that they view it, because I'm pretty sure they hear that there's a problem because there was evidence to that. But I'm pretty sure on their end, they're like, hey, people are playing, they're doing what we want them to do, so okay, it's fine, right? So like, they're trying to really, with this anniversary, if you really look at what's happening here, there's a lot of freebies and all this stuff that's actually really good. You know, people aren't going to focus on the good. When there's bad, they're going to focus on the bad. That's the reality. And I have responses. We're going to read those tweets out and stuff like that. But there's actually a lot of good in here, a lot of freebies. And if you play everything, if you complete everything, if you're somebody that's going to know life this event, you will get a lot of freebies and a lot of chrono crystals and all of that stuff. If you're somebody that can't even log in for like a day at a time, it's going to be very tough for you. And some of this stuff you're just outright not going to be able to do because it is geared in a way where you have to log in, you have to complete everything available to you every day, basically. So you've got to really pick and choose how you're going to handle this anniversary personally. So I have some tweets, like I said, we're going to read these off and we're going to go in response to them. And if you didn't see the first video, like I said, this is the second one. This is technically a part 2. That other one was a little bit long, so if you're like got some chores to do, you're driving or whatever, please be sure to check that video out. And if you enjoyed this one, hit that thumbs up. It lets me know you guys enjoy these types of videos and want to see more, and not just PvP from me most of the time. So I tweeted out a couple of days ago, respond here, and this was the topic for the first video. It's about Vegito Blue. A lot of negative response to that and opinions on that. See, 100 comments basically. So anyways, respond here for thoughts on the anniversary so far. Things they did well. In parentheses, I put LOL because most people aren't going to say anything they did well. And then things and ways they messed up. And I listed an example of the coins being tough to obtain and not guaranteed. So there are a lot of things, like I said, in this anniversary that are very good, a lot of freebies, and some of this stuff is kind of like, seems kind of pieced together. Maybe it could have been more like this banner. Maybe they had other ideas, because this is the first anniversary where they haven't dropped more than 2 new characters for part 1. It's the first anniversary where they haven't dropped 2 separate banners at least, even if it's the same LF between both banners. This is the first anniversary where they're doing these types of things, and they really tried to hold back here. And you can make the excuse that it's because of the delay of the movie and that being potentially part 2 of this anniversary, which maybe that wasn't planned to be because the movie was supposed to release months ago, but you know, the Toei hack and things like that really messed up a lot of things. It really messed up a lot of things that you guys don't even know about, that I mean, I can't really disclose, but nonetheless, whatever. It messed up a lot of things for Toei in general, and YouTube and others, just a lot. So anyways, you can make that excuse, right? But like, I'm not gonna make that excuse personally when it comes to the way that this banner has actually been monetized and the way that the events have been handled, because this banner is more monetized than you would realize. Because as you get through, and again, there's a lot of stuff in here, like I said, freebies, free Legends Limited after logging in 10 days consecutively, things like that. Like, there's good here. There's a lot, all those tickets you can get, the free summons, the free CC, the free characters, the medals you get, the coins you get, you can exchange those for a lot of cool things, albeit we'll talk about those. There's good here, okay? The free characters, like I said, even though people don't love Full Power Battle, it's good that it's back for more opportunities to get these resources. And then on top of that too, I think a lot of people need to understand with Full Power Battle, on a side note, it's not meant to be an easy mode. It's supposed to be really upsetting and really tough. That's kind of the way that this was designed to be, which is why it's still that way 3 iterations or so in. Anyways, but you can also still get these characters E-Power from the daily event, and I believe you can 7-star them just by playing that daily event. Anyways, so yeah, there's that. But when you look at it, they kind of, with the Hoi Poi medals, there's kind of like this funneling system that's kind of happening right now in the game. So it starts with Hoi Poi, and Hoi Poi has a lot of good resources in it and stuff like that. You get this equip, which doesn't really do anything outside of getting the anniversary raid medals. Stop running this in co-op. It doesn't do anything in co-op. Anyways, you get this equip from Hoi Poi, and to get the Hoi Poi coins, you have to complete these 3 events specifically, right? You got to complete the World Challenge raid, you have to complete Full Power Battle, and you have to complete co-op, which is the typical way you're going to get it, which is co-op. And then when it comes to the events and stuff like that, these characters have this special unique ability to give bonus drops and blah blah, the new characters. And you start with Hoi Poi, you go over to co-op. Co-op gives you more drops for having the better characters, right? That's just typically how it goes. You have an easier time doing it. You see right here, Hoi Poi coin drops. This is where it starts looking a little different, because For one, you have the free characters here, but only at 7+. Yeah, that's 14 stars. So if you even want to benefit from this unique ability, you need to hurry up and complete the full power battle, because it's not possible to get them to 7+ in a reasonable amount of time. I just got them to 6, and I haven't played the other mode because it doesn't matter for me because I have UI Goku. But that's part of it too. It's monetized in a way that if you have Vegeta and Goku, obviously Goku gives you a lot more, but the higher stars you have on Goku, the better the drops, right? 0 to 7 is 3, and then when you're in the red star range, even just 1 red star, you get 7. And same for Vegeta, with 1 red star you get 3, and 2 below that, right? So you start seeing how you really can stack more coins quickly, and the exchanges for Hoi Poi is pretty substantial, man. There's a lot of things that are available. These characters have bonuses to just do more damage and stuff like that, you know? But there's a lot of things that are available in Hoi Poi that you're going to want to probably pick up. And then you need to use the Hoi Poi coins to be able to summon and in the Hoi Poi system, and then get that equip, which will help you with getting more of those overall coins, or the medals. So speaking of the medals, if we come in and take a look here at the raid, right? So the raid is doing something similar. For one, just for the record, you don't even have a guaranteed drop, okay? Understand something. They don't even guarantee you drops. You can go into the raid and not even get guaranteed drops of these medals. Unless you have a UI Goku at 6-star minimum, you are not getting a guarantee, okay? And then on top of that, if you spent a crazy amount of money and, for example, got UI Goku in 2+ red stars, you're getting 50. You understand what's happening here, right? And then they have these freebies at 3 only when they're 14-star. I don't know if this stacks or not. I'm sure they'll list it here. But if it stacks, that's even crazier. But nonetheless, though, like, you see these numbers, right? Vegeta in red star range is only 10 compared to UI Goku is 50. I don't think he should be even close, which is fair, but maybe 20, right? But nonetheless, though, the whole system is a problem, because if you didn't get these characters at this area, you're not going to have that luck. And if you don't have UI Goku at least 6-star, you're not even guaranteed. I saw people saying they ran a bunch of times and weren't even getting drops at all, okay? So then you have this happening, and then you need these raid medals to exchange in the shop that's going to have, like, the Legends Limited Z Power and all this nice stuff, more CC, cool titles. You see what I'm saying? Or not titles, but PvP messages. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's a funnel here to where basically if you didn't go crazy on the banner, it's unfortunate for you, right? So people aren't loving that whole system. And the problem with that system is that it's not the first time they've done some of those things, but I feel like it's the first time they've done all of them together and to that extent. So that's just a part of it. Like, there's really just a lot of negative reception for most of the stuff going on. And they actually did, let me say this, because of the negative reception, like yesterday or the day before, they actually did kind of make some changes here. So your feedback will be taken into consideration. We aim to reduce the difficulty level of the ongoing World Challenge raid event. Missions will be added so that more rewards can be obtained through playing. So they're adding 1,000 raid medals and 300 Hoi Pois for the mission totals. And then in response to players who have already exchanged all of their items, we've increased the exchange limit for the Z Power. Yeah, there are people, by the way, that are struggling to get this at all, and they're playing all day. And then there are people that spend a crap ton of money and they're completing it, and it's not hard to do. I believe it stacks, man. That's probably why. So yeah, in order to make it easier, the event will be extended as well until 6/21. So like they did a lot of things here, okay? Let's try to make it easier. So let's see some responses. Not a regular Legends player, but one thing, I always come back for anniversaries, if nothing. But this year, it wasn't appealing enough in terms of everything, not just the units. So for many casuals like me, it just was a bit disappointing. I believe the movie delay hurt them. You're going to hear this sentiment a lot. I do think that, again, the movie delay caused them to have to reshuffle things. I do think it caused them to have to maybe put out different content for the anniversary in terms of character releases. But all of the other stuff, right? The funnel system I talked about, I feel like UI Goku was able to handle carrying this anniversary by himself on sheer popularity alone. And they didn't hit #1 everywhere like they would like. But don't misunderstand. The game's not doing bad, okay? The game is going to be around for a very long time. They're not going to close this game next year, for example. I see people saying it won't even make it to 5-year anniversary. You know how hyperbolic you sound? Who cares if this game doesn't make as much money as Dokkan? So what? It doesn't matter. Why would you have one cash cow when you can have two. You know what I'm saying? It's not like the game is in the gutter and it barely even makes enough money to keep the servers up. They'd close that game down if that was the case, but that is not the case. This game is regularly making a lot of money, millions of dollars. Why would they close it? It doesn't make sense. I would expect it to not even close even by the 7 years, personally. Unless things change crazily and it just falls off the map completely, I don't see that happening. So, yeah, I feel like he would have been able to handle this by himself. So even if he was maybe supposed to be tied with some other characters or whatever, right? They didn't have to basically milk him to the extent that they did. That's what's happening here. They're milking him heavily. So I won't give them the movie delay hurt them to where they have to milk everything and they're insecure about their revenue. No, I don't give them that. I just don't. And I'm not gonna feel bad for a multi-million-dollar business, okay? And neither should you. Like, you don't have to make excuses for these dudes. You don't gotta go to bat for them, okay? You don't have to. I don't care how much you love this game. I've been playing it for over 4 years. You don't have to do that. There's no point. The whole celebration felt lacking at start, which for me wasn't that big of a deal or problem. Dokkan was dry too, but then some dumb and just bad design stuff started to appear. And first the banners, or should I say banner, why is it 2x rate and Z power banner? I mean, it's any guys, come on, throw some 3 or 4. Legend should have improvised short to sell a better image for the celebration. He has a third one here. He's got a lot. Celebration that looks lacking and is a damn big one. So these kind of improvements and friendly adaptations to not only banners but only events. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut there. But it's bad and predatory, inexcusable and pay to win. Even if you have MUI with a lot of stars, still a lot of runs. He's talking about some stuff I was talking about the raids. So I'm gonna say the 2 and 3 and 4 time stuff, like the anniversary banners. Make no mistake, the Legends Festival edition of that, where it was 3 times, was never supposed to come back. I'm talking about even for next year. Like, if you had that penciled in to come for next Legends Festival, make no mistake, don't misunderstand, that was not supposed to happen again. That's not to say it won't happen, but it definitely was not going to happen again. Here's where they messed up though. They shot themselves in the foot when right after the Legends Festival, they made every banner a 2 times banner, okay? That took the special feel off of it. That's not a bad thing by any means. I love that they did that, but they shot themselves in the foot because it turns to, oh, this is anniversary, and the expectation is we need to go back to a higher number, right? 3, they would never do 4, but you know what I'm saying? They got to go to a higher number because 2 had become, for all intents and purposes, the normal rate, right? Which is, again, amazing. But if that was the idea, they should have never done that, so 2 can come back for the anniversary and feel more special and really help the anniversary feel more special. But instead, if we're being honest, the anniversary banner just feels like a regular monthly banner that we always get and have been getting for quite a while, especially since it's only a couple of characters, right? So it is what it is. 4th may be mediocre so far, but the 2nd was worse. The 2nd was so boring and there was less to do than with the 4th, and the part 4 units and the part 2 units, excuse me, for the 2nd blue as well. He was saying they were bad. It's not far to be calling the 4th the worst anime yet, because part 2 hasn't even happened yet. So yeah, I have to go back and look at the 2nd anniversary before I can make any comment on that. But a lot of the same stuff was coming from that anniversary, for the record. Because back then there wasn't even like raids and stuff like that. I don't believe. I believe the part about it being too early to call it that is fine, but let me tell you, if I'm being honest, I don't think that there's anything that they can do in part 2 and 3, if there is a 3, but at least part 2, that can fix this for a lot of people, right? There's going to be the segment of fans that say, oh, you should be happy we get XYZ. I'm happy we just got this. And, you know, I'm just happy that blah, blah, blah. And that's fine. That's you. That's perfect. That's fine. I'm happier that way. But a lot of the players that are upset, which, again, this is also a very loud minority because, again, I'm sure on their end, on the back end, the way that they look at the analytics for the game, things are probably not reflecting the same way we think they are. We think the game is, like, on its last leg and dying. And that's not the case, bro. That's not the case. It's not. So it is what it is. But, like, I'd have to kind of see how things are happening. But I don't know if there's anything it can do, really. I don't think Gohan or whatever can save the anniversary hype for a lot of people. I think the bad taste will remain, unfortunately, for the people that are upset. Best thing they did was, I guess, give us a lot of CCs. Only part where they messed that up is that you get it locked behind difficult events, needing the LF for 1% sparkings. The raid is not good because you're 3 4th year medals for a daily thing without the LF units. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. It's all heavily monetized. So, like, you get those CC, you get all these resources, and definitely I don't think it should be particularly easy, right? To get like Legends Limited Z Power, things like that. I understand why they made it hard to get, and they tried to make it to where you have to play all day. Please don't make a mistake with that. If I didn't get that across earlier, I'm just explaining why people are mad. But like, it's above and beyond what it needed to be is what I'm saying, right? It's above and beyond. To the point where, again, if you miss a day, you're going to miss out on resources. You can't miss a day. The Annie is a 5 out of 10. The banner is fine and the units are cool, but we had a week of no content, and a lot of events require you to have UI Goku to get extra rewards. The main thing I don't like is how if you have the featured unit, it's still not guaranteed you'll get them. I talked about that. That's actually really stupid. The anniversary is dry. The raid is very pay to win. Vegeta Blue Zenkai had nothing added to him. That's a good / practical addition to the kit he already had. And the new full power mode is RNG and not really enjoyable. I mean, if you enjoy it, more power to you. I like the design, the way that they handle it. It's cool. But it is heavily RNG. Even if you know everything you're supposed to do, it is still RNG based and very tough to do. And that's what they want it to be. I like the anniversary character so far, but the overall scope of the anniversary has been done poorly. I don't understand why the dev team is so careful with releasing Zenkais, but isn't careful in making sure their decision regarding game modes and stuff that comes with it. Agreed. Worst Annie ever. It's embarrassing to even call it an anniversary. There's literally nothing to do other than co-op and raids, the same events over and over again. The way this game is going, it will die. Honestly, it deserves to. The game is just not the same anymore. Yeah, see, there's going to be a lot of, I don't know if it'll be in this video, but I saw a lot of sentiment about the game dying sometime soon, and I can't get there because that's not the case, right? And I know it's not the case. You know when you should start thinking about that, in all seriousness, is when the next game gets announced. Because here's the deal. You gotta believe they're gonna have another mobile game. Legends isn't gonna be the last Dragon Ball mobile game. That'd be foolish to think that, right? Maybe it'll be mobile and PC, crossplay, whatever, but it won't be the last game, okay? So the deal is, they started working on Legends after the 1 year anniversary, in between 1 and 2 year anniversary, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, for Dokkan. And Dokkan now is about to get their 7th global anniversary, and in 6 months or whatever, they're going to have their 8th anniversary for Japan. So Dokkan's a very old game, still making a lot of money, by the way. Very old game. And Legends is actually kind of old in relation now, too. Legends has got to a point where they're 4 years old. So, you know, things have taken up. So it takes, obviously, there's a time period there. I said they started early, but they didn't get the game out, you know, ASAP. They gotta build the game up, so it takes a while. So I'd say if they did the same thing, here's a funny thing. If they did the same thing to Legends as they did to Dokkan when they start production, I'd imagine that on some servers back there, there's a nice little build of another mobile game or whatever it is that they're working on, that they're planning on releasing globally. And maybe next year we hear some sort of announcement for it and it comes out sometime later that year. Like, who knows? But when that happens is when you start really thinking about, okay, are they going to bump one of these games off the store? Because I'll tell you one thing, Bandai doesn't love having too many global games of the same IP. They don't like having more than 2, maybe 3. So 3 might be pushing it, but again, it is Dragon Ball. These other games are making a lot of money, like I said in the beginning. So why have 2 when you can have 3, right? I'm sure they would wait and see what happens, but that's when you think about that, right? They're not just going to randomly close Legends, I don't think. Pinnacle of Trash, I'm lucky enough to have Goku at 7 stars, and being a free-to-play player, did 2 more rotations in hopes of 1 more copy, which I didn't get. You do need that 1 more copy, by the way, to get the red star range like we talked about earlier, just to prevent doing the raid like 150 times, like I said, yeah, which is absurd. Can't imagine those with a Goku at 6 stars. Hello, that's me. Hoi Poi is not in raids, too, yeah. Definitely took an L on the current Jiren hyperdimensional co-op raid. I need to pull MUI to get the best chance of rewards. WTF. The last Annie raids were never like that. The 2 new events were alright. I was expecting way more content, to be honest, but it isn't over yet. Yeah, so it's definitely not done. I understand why, like I said, people are mad at it and things like that. It's definitely not done. There's definitely more that's going to come. That's why I said in the beginning, this video is specific to part 1. In an effort to not make this video as long as the other one, I'm going to kind of wrap this up after like 4 or 5 responses. So far, almost every single thing has been complete dog water, and no, that shouldn't be put on the movie delay, quote unquote. They should have had content ready for the Annie regardless of if the movie dropped or not, because MUI isn't a unit that can carry an entire celebration. So I agree with the first part. I don't agree with the second part. I think Goku is probably the most popular thing that's come out of Super. Maybe that's arguable for Vegito and Gogeta Blue, but he's good enough to carry a celebration by himself. He doesn't need to be paired with another equally hyped character, things like that. If they pair him with like a Goku Black or whatever, that's fine, but he doesn't need to be compared. Like, he's on that higher tier of popularity to where like he can carry a character like Jiren, who I thought would have for sure came out with him, right? It was weird to see Jiren come out a couple of months early. So like I agree with the movie delay part should not be an excuse for the events. That's what I was saying in the beginning. I'm not going to give them that excuse. Like obviously we don't know the full logistics of what happened on the back end. Maybe they had to build everything from the ground up, which if that's the case, sorry. But again, it's a multi-million-dollar business. I'm just not doing it, right? It's not like some indie business where they don't have more than 5 people working. I'm not doing it, dude. I'm not. I can have sympathy for the fact that maybe they had to reshuffle things and release stuff in different orders, but they have these characters done in advance. You think UI Goku wasn't done, or at least extremely close to done when that happened? These characters are done months in advance. Their schedule is laid out months in advance, which again could have been affected, but the content, the releases that they have, these things are planned. You think they don't got the new Gohan, or I don't know if Cell will happen because whatever. I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. I looked at the name trending here and it kind of caught me off guard. I'm sorry. I won't explain more about it, but there's a reason why it probably won't happen. I don't know. But what's it called? Like, you think there's no like new Gohans or Piccolos or Goten and Trunks, things that have been in trailers, right? You think they don't got that stuff done? You don't think they've had that stuff done for months? Especially because the movie got delayed. They probably had that stuff done like in January. You know what I'm saying? Like they have this stuff done in advance. You want me to do how many runs, Toshi? The free units are nice. I wish it was a full team. I get why they didn't give you a full team because there was a bunch of new characters with the same Z abilities and stuff. I don't have MUI at all, and the Vegeta's only 3 stars. I will never get that Z power that they are giving out, and getting even 100 CCs is hard for me. What's worse is the max out free-to-play units whom you can't use in raid for drops. You need to clear full power battle. Full power battle requires MUI. That's another thing. Full power battle is extremely tough to do without the Goku, because Goku gets insane boosts. Can I pull that up? And again, all the full power battles have been like this, where if you don't have the new character, it's extremely tough, but Goku gets an insane amount of boosts. Are they going to show it here? I don't think they're showing it. No. Yeah, he gets, it's actually really comical. It's comical. But I remember they did the same with Ultra Kaioken, and it was like, goodness, his boosts are ridiculous. Pretty bad, not gonna lie, and super grindy to get CC and then the 4-year coins. Also, MUI Goku keeps dodging me. Yeah, if you don't get I think the key takeaway is that if you don't get MUI Goku, this anniversary is really not for you. It just isn't, because if you can't pull him, you can't do a lot of the content. And if you can't pull him multiple times, you can do less of the content. Unless you're willing to spend an ungodly amount of time. Like, if you could spend all day on the game, more power to you. Hot garbage. The raid changes are disgusting. The UI Goku banner was pretty mid. Could have been better. People love to say movie delay caused a lack of stuff. There's a ton of stuff that they could have simply re-released stuff and made it look a little pretty if they wanted. That's fair. The free-to-play units like Green, Pod, Frieza, etc. especially would be nice to get those for those who missed. I don't know why they don't rerun those events. Like Pod Frieza, Yellow Black, or Green 18. They don't. The Yellow Trunks, who recently came out, but they don't run those events back. Purple Goku with the coat. Like, I don't understand that. Like, what's going on with these events? I'm sure they will eventually, but I've seen that damn event with all the Gokus like 5 times by now. Like, I don't understand why they don't run those back. Anyways, all those events, yeah. Compare this anime to Dokkan 7th. That's all that needs to be said. This game is now a joke. Unfortunately, a lot of people are quitting this rubbish. This guy, isn't this the same guy that commented earlier? No one cares about grinding all day for those stupid anniversary medals. Yeah, I agree. I'll make this short. Something good was finally releasing Goku. That's pretty much it. You can figure out the rest from the other replies. Stop playing just after the last Legends Festival. Still keep up with the news. So he hasn't played much in the last 6 months. Don't think anything from the anniversary has even remotely made me want to return. That's interesting. And it seems like it's getting worse. So I think this is it for me in Legends, sadly. What really broke it for me is having to spend the time grinding the save 40k CC to get maybe a single copy of a shiny new character. Even sometimes spending $100. It really got me. Don't think there's a single LF I got on release that I didn't spend over 30k CC for one copy. Also, he's also had really bad luck, so it's kind of just led to it was a build up for him. That you hate to hear that. Sorry to hear, man. Annie is boring. The only reason I'm logging on is for tickets you get every 10 days. Yeah, like I said, you gotta log in. You gotta log in every Tuesday to get the Tuesday specifics. You gotta log in all the time, right? Would have deleted it if MUI sucked, if he wasn't anime faithful, but they did an amazing job replicating the character. I do believe that they did a great job. You can complain about Goku's kit as much as you want, being annoying to play against or whatever. I think they did a great job. I think they did a great job with recreating that scene and that character. Could have made him the best in the game, but the coolness of the unit made me satisfied, but everything else is trash. Okay, obtaining the coins from the raid is in this manner is the worst thing they could have done, and I hope they never, and I mean ever, repeat this in the coming raids. It's too pay to win. Okay, last ones are on the screen currently. The 4th anniversary is super lacking in content, and while yes, superhero being delayed might have been a part in doesn't excuse the lack of content right now, in my opinion. I don't get why the raid has to be heavy pay to win, and why it took around 2 weeks for it to come out. Needing high as F limit breaks to the premium units to get drastic drop increases is ridiculous. Yeah, that's weird. Where do I begin? You need MUI at 9 stars for good drops in the raid. And the hell is the raid exchange shop? It feels like they're trying to kill their own game. This was the worst Legends anniversary. So there's so many. I'm sorry I couldn't get to every single thing. But yeah, like it's you get the idea with some of the responses I read of how the community currently is feeling about this. So let me know in the comments down below how you feel about it, what your thoughts are. Again, I want to say this one more time. Part 2 could come out. Oh, it is going to come out. It could come out and be a lot better, right? And it could fix some of these things. They've already tried to, fix some of the stuff that's already there. It doesn't, by the way, the changes that they made don't seem to change the fact you still need a highly starred character to get that done, But nonetheless, though, like, it could come out and be, like, amazing. But I don't see that fixing a lot of the sourness for a lot of players. I mean, you can't make everyone happy, right? You can't do that. Everyone's going to have something to be mad about. And like I said in the beginning, they're not going to focus on the good. They're going to focus on the bad. Especially, I think in this case, the bad is like so in your face because you need it for everything, right? Like the bad is the monetization. You need it for everything. So it's unfortunate, but hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see all of you next time.